Hello and welcome everybody. It's Karen. Thank you for stopping by today. I have got a huge pop-up inside Valentine's Day card to share today. So this is it. And I have to say it is a fantastic way to use up some of those white scraps that we all have. There's really no rhyme or reason to it. You can make it however you want. I'm just going to show you quickly the basics. It's got quite a bit of bulk, but I'm going to hand deliver this obviously, so I didn't mind that on this card. And it's definitely the kind of card that's going to stay open on your desk or whoever gets it on their shelf. But there's lots of dimension inside. So to start, I've got a scrap of white cardstock. It does not matter how big or tall these are. You're just going to score this into cubes or rectangles. So I started with a 1/2 inch, then I'm doing 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, and 4.5 inches. Now that will make 1 cube. But because I have it there in my scoreboard, I'm going to keep going. So I'll do another 1/2 inch tab at 5 inches, and then I'll go 6 inches, 7, 8, and 9. Now you can make this rectangles, just keep the first and third section the same width and the second and fourth the same width, and you'll make a rectangle that way. So I'm going to start by trimming this off where I ended at the 9 inches. The rest of that I don't need, but you could turn that around and do another section with that. And then I will just trim this down at the 4.5 inch mark. Right before I started that second one. So there you have two identical pieces of cardstock. They're all scored the same way. They will all go into mountain folds. It's super, super easy. That's all it is. And there you can see how that cube will start to take shape. So I'll do that with both, but I don't like mine to be the same height. I think the fun of this is to have them all staggered at different heights and widths. So I'm going to trim this down. It's 3 inches wide, and I'll just take 1 inch off and make a 1 inch and a 2 inch cube now that will sort of vary in height when I go to put these on. So there you can see the height difference. So truly use up your scraps, whatever you've got, cut them to be whatever height or width you want them to be. Really doesn't matter. It's just a great way to use up your scraps. Now to assemble these, I'm going to just put some glue on that little 1/2 inch tab that I created, and I'll fold this in half. I keep the tab folded down, fold it in half, and glue that together, and there is your cube. Super, super easy, you guys. So again, just glue on the tab, fold this one in half, and there's another little cube. Now I find it easiest to decorate the front first because you're going to have all that bulk of those cubes going on the inside. So for the front of mine, I have used the Nesting Hearts die, and I've cut the largest heart and those two smaller ones from this one piece of Perfect Pear 6x6 paper. Now one of the hearts I actually just flipped over. It was really quite pretty on the back with the extra hearts on it, so I went with that. And then I have taken from the Perfect Pears embossed die cuts, the balloons, and the remaining hearts. I cut the word pear from the jumbo lowercase die, and I've just on my computer made those supporting sentiments. Now that Happy Valentine's Day was from the Tags and Tickets collection. It was just that one little die cut, and it could have gone on the inside actually, but I stuck it on the front. Okay, so to assemble this, you want to start, I start with my tallest one. Now, you're going to see, I wished my tallest one was taller. So I'm going to put glue on the two adjacent sides. They have to be side by side. And I'm going to butt one side right up along the bottom edge and into that card fold. So right against the fold. And then all you want to do is just close that card front down and let the glue set up. And when you open it, I like to use my bone folder to go over and really burnish it. And so that's the start. Now, I really wish that was taller. You'll see after what I do. But I just went along. I cut some of mine down as I went along because I felt like they weren't the right height. But for the next one, you're just going to do the same thing. Glue on 2 adjacent sides, and I'm going to butt the fold of that one right into where that first cube ends, and keep it parallel along the bottom edge. So you can fold it up like this. If you're using glue, you've got a little bit of wiggle time to sort of play around with that a bit. But I'm using my bone folder again to really burnish that, make sure the glue sets up. And you're just going to do that on both sides of that fold line. Now this little guy ended up being a second layer. So I just put glue on the 2 sides, and I'm butting it right against that cube that's on the left and down against the ones that are on the bottom. So he just goes right in there. So really just vary the heights and the widths of all your cubes, and it'll be fun. So there you can see how it starts. Now here is all the dimension you get with that. So there definitely is some thickness to this card. It may not be a mailing card, but it's definitely a fun card to hand over. And that's the inside of mine, all stacked up. Really quite fun. Now you can see there, I've added that 1 cube to the top. I wished I hadn't cut that one actually. But I will cover that with a die cut, and my husband will never know. He won't notice. Okay, so from this, the embossed die cuts, I've taken all the pears. So the bacon and eggs, the sushi and soy sauce, all of the pears that matched up. And then there's this little sentiment, you make my days brighter. And then this, you're my person, came from the So Extra White supporting sentiments. And I've just got a few extra little things in there. Now, I'm going to start by covering up my join there. When you go, I'm sort of laying these out, trying to figure out where things are going to fit, sort of doing a pre-run or a test run, I guess. Just sort of playing with them. But when you go to stick this down, remember to only put glue where the die cut is going to be in contact with the cube below. So here on this one, I've only got a bit of glue on the bottom of that bacon and eggs, and I am just making sure that it doesn't extend past the fold line when it's closed. I also made sure that I covered both sides of the cube so that it just added a lot more visual interest. So when you open it, those die cut images are on both sides of the cubes, on the front and on the sides. And I've added a few sentiments. So I do think that this could be a really fun birthday card, perhaps with balloons and cakes and presents and little animals, whatever you've got. I think there's a lot of different ways that you could make this one work. But there is that bulk there. So if you're going to mail it, you may not want to do this card fold, but it is a great way to use up some of your extra white scraps. So I hope that's given you some inspiration, everybody. I hope you're having a great day, and thanks for stopping by. Bye.